Hello,
Hello,
I'm Kate Butch,
and I'm Caitlin Powell.
and this is Queers Gone By, the show where we talk about nostalgic film, TV, and snacks and try to work out if that's what made us queer.
And today,
It's June Whitfield June.
Judy Garland June.
Judy's busting out all over.
She is. It's very messy.
Yes, it's Pride Month, so we are reviewing the film that I think started it, or kind of
Yeah.
the original queer film.
Mm-hmm. Friends of Dorothy.
Friends of Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
And queer icon Judy Garland, whose funeral was the same day as the Stonewall protests.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if it's linked, but
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research. Do you know why it's considered a queer, apart from Judy Garland and her being a queer friend of the gays and all that, do you know why it's considered a queer film?
I don't, because no one in it's openly queer. I mean, it's
No,
1939.
It's because, in the book, there's a fairy who comes down when they've all been united to, and are going down the Yellow Brick Road, and she's called, I don't know, Chromatica or something, and she's like the rainbow fairy or something like that, and camp, and she says, or he says, or they say, who knows, they're like, oh, you're very queer friends, and Dorothy's like, well, it doesn't matter if they're queer so long as they're friends. Queen
Ally. She's an ally. We love it. We love to see it.
Yes.
This film is quite I think it's ingrained in a lot of people's memory, culture.
Psyche.
Yeah. Do you remember? Did you have a strong connection to this as a child?
I watched it. I've got German relatives, so I watched it in German along with Billy Elliot. That was a fun holiday. They just sat me in front of a TV. And we're like, these are the two films. The gay one and the Marxist one. So I don't think I really got what was happening in this. So it was really nice to watch it again, but English.
I remember watching this at my friend's house after eating jam sandwiches. I also remember thinking for a long time that this was the first film ever made. Don't know why. It wasn't.
No.
But you know, when something's in black and white, you're like, this is the oldest thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look at her shoes, iconic. Nothing before matters.
So we get, I think, you can see where Tracy Beaker gets it from. We begin with a long extended sequence of sepia sadness.
Sepia trauma, but with a jazzy overture. My gender.
It is a jazzy overture, to be fair. And we're in Kansas, obviously.
Yes.
Why is it Kansas, but this one is not Arkansas? America, explain.
Okay, explain. And Dorothy's scampering down the road with a little dog, Toto.
Iconic dog, Toto. Toto, I was Googling. I think the dog that played Toto was a lady dog.
A lady dog.
Toto's trans. Confirmed.
Gender fluid dog, Toto.
And Dorothy's running down the road, but oh no. And Eddie M.
God, she speaks far too quickly. She's like, Eddie M, Miss Gulch hit Toto on the back of the rig and now she's... Shut up!
And Eddie M's like, Dorothy, please, we are counting chicks. I don't know why. It's look, well, she didn't count them before they'd hatched. Very sensible.
Very wise, very wise.
Sort of an incubator is broken or something, I don't know. And
storm's coming.
Well, certainly is.
And Dorothy is frazzled.
Yeah, it's like, please stop talking about your dog.
Mm-hmm. Well, what she's actually talking about, what she's admitting, is that she's a bad dog owner.
She is. Blame the owner, not the dog, because Toto's bitten Miss Gulch or something.
Chased her nasty old cat. And she's like, Miss Gulch says that he comes and chases her cat. And I'm like, well, does he? Because if he does, that's someone's fault.
Then Aunt Em's like, please just fuck off. And she goes and sees her farmhand friends, who look like they might look familiar very soon.
Oh, yes.
We got Hunk. His name is Hunk. Why would you call your child Hunk? Hickory. And I think Zeke. Who's the other one? Zeke. And Dorothy's like balancing.
She's such a straight liability.
Oh my god, she is. She's like on this like wall in this pig pen. Very similar to, you won't have seen it, but the BBC Narnia Silver Chair adaptation. Jill Pole, who is also a straight liability, is like balancing. And she's like, I'm not going to fall. And then what does she do? She fucking falls.
Yeah. And the one who later on is a scarecrow, I think, is like, you act like you don't have any brains at all. You see? Because scarecrow. Good. Call back. And she's like, I do so have brains. And he's like, then why don't you listen?
Then why have you fallen into this pigsty? Also, why does everyone act like the pigs have got guns? Like, it's
pigs
just
will
pigs.
Eat you. Pigs will grind your bones.
Oh, to make their bread?
Dead. Yes.
Oh, God.
The OGs.
Oh. And then who should turn up? Right, listeners, now.
Camp icon.
Oh no, sorry, I've skipped it. A bit.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I've skipped the most
bit coming up because
Auntie
M comes over and she's like, right, you need to get to a place where you're not causing any trouble. And Dorothy has an existential crisis about, like, it's like she thinks she's written Imagine, and she's like, a place where there isn't any trouble? No, where you won't cause trouble. Have a nap, read a book, train your dog. But no, she sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
I think that's probably why I wanted to skip over it subconsciously. It's just, I know it's like a classic song that's like ingrained in the popular zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus Christ, is it dreary?
Yeah, Judy Garland's vibrato is working overtime on this fucking song. Somewhere over the rainbow. Is she a jazz singer? What's going on? What's the work on a fucking cruise
standing
liner?
on a shaking?
Yeah. Somewhere.
Bless her. I mean, she speaks with vibrato as well.
Yeah. But Auntie M!
She's quite wispy.
My Judy Garland impression, as we've discovered, because I've done my Judy Garland impression to you many times, is my Barbie impression. Hey guys! Oh no! The Scarecrow! Stop being so shocked by everything.
Have you seen Ariana Grande's Judy impression?
No, I haven't, but she's a good impressionist.
It's good. It's like, it's an SNL sketch. I don't know if it was actually ever aired, but she's like Space Captain Judy Garland. And
amazing.
For some reason, she does the trolley song in space. It's a great
Does
time.
she do it well?
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh.
Better than Renee Zellweger.
Oh.
She's all right, but like she can't sing like her.
Does she continue? Because okay, let's be honest. This isn't her finest moment in terms of acting.
No.
Does she get better?
She does.
Okay.
She's in A Star Is Born. Judy Garland she should have won the Oscar, but fucking Grace Kelly came and snatched it off her.
Right. Okay. These old actresses. You are an actor. So okay,
loosely.
You are familiar with acting.
I am of acting experience.
These women good actresses, or do they just talk incredibly quickly?
It could be one of this. I've been watching some very good videos about Oscar winners.
Yeah.
On YouTube. Be Kind Rewind is the YouTube channel. And it's kind of like how like popular things like shifts in cultural enjoyment and things. Like biopics, like most actresses now win for biopics.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which kicked off from Sissy Spacek in 1981.
Whereas before, they won Oscars for talking very quickly and intensely.
Yes.
That's my impression of an Oscar winner in the 30s.
That's very good. She did, but she won a juvenile Oscar for this, which they don't do anymore.
With good reason, apparently.
Yeah, I was like, are you good in this, or were you just in the biggest film of all time?
Yeah. She had a troubled, like, was she on crack or something? Like, she was
I think she was on everything. She had a very she. I think when they were making the film, they obviously she was a bit like rounder in the face than they would have liked.
Oh, even though she's playing a child.
Yes. So like they starved her, they put her on different drugs and things.
Christ.
Like bribed her and.
She was smoking a lot, right? Like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess they all did,
Yeah.
but I feel like she was like a 7-year-old being like, "How you doing, kid?"
Mm. And obviously, when you're like that young and you're in like the world of fame and Hollywood and glamour, like the same thing like Lindsay Lohan and Amanda Bynes and all of those people, it still perpetuates.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's not the best actress in this. She sings nice, or she sings like a middle-aged lady at the age of 16.
She's certainly got big eyes.
And that you can't teach that.
No, that's talent, that is.
Take that right to the bank.
Yep. Enter.
And then we have, yes. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Camp icon. I love, it's Miss Gulch. She's riding on a little bike. I want this theme tune to follow me everywhere I go. Dun, 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 dun.
Listeners, if you know us, the second that we see an older woman who goes by the title of Miss, she's on our side. Yeah. That's in our books. Yeah, we love her.
Claim them as one of our own.
I mean, she is the queerest.
Yes.
I was reading interesting Twitter discourse about it. That she's kind of like a symbol for like the horrors of spinsterhood. Don't be this. And like if you're a woman on a bike in the early 1900s, you're basically the devil.
Yeah, we love to see it.
With getting ideas.
Yeah. But then, so I was like, yes, queen, get on your bike, love it. And then like 10 seconds later, she wants to kill a dog. And I was like, oh no. It's an overreaction.
Oh, but she does own half the county. And I was like, yes, queen, entrepreneur, get it, girl.
Yeah. So yeah, they were a bit of an argument.
She's like, I've come for Toto.
Yeah, she's going to take him to the pound.
Yes, and our DM says, Elvira Gulch, I've had a great many things I wish to say to you, and being a good Christian woman, I just can't say them.
Because they're all homophobic. and Dorothy, so Dorothy's like, Toto shouldn't be punished. I'm the one who should be punished. And I'm like, yes, what an idea. Take responsibility.
But they're like, no, we're taking the dog.
Yeah.
And then they cycle away. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And Toto little scurries out
he escapes
of the basket and runs away back to Dorothy. And Dorothy's like, well, you've come back. Now I must
run away,
change my identity and leave the country.
And then there's just a filler bit that I know is important, but she gets guilted to go home by John Cleese, who's a magician, and Auntie M's having a heart attack. Like, what the fuck was this about? Like...
She meets Professor Marvel.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Captain Marvel.
No.
Queer icon, Captain Marvel. And he is pointless. He's like, I'm cooking some sausages and I'm going to con you out of a fortune reading.
Yeah. Now fuck off, I don't want to share my sausages.
She's like, couldn't we come with you? And I'm like, you've known him for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, get a CRB check and then maybe we can talk.
Yeah. So she rushes home.
It's like, yes. She's like, please let me in. Oh, the winds are blowing. The winds are blowing.
Yeah,
the winds
how
change.
Did they do this twister? It's so good.
I do not know. I think there was like something to do with the blanket or something.
Okay.
I was actually reading on the Wikipedia page. Click on reception. That's the first thing I do on a film Wikipedia page. On a person Wikipedia page, it's personal life. And if you don't do that, you're straight.
Or controversies.
Oh, yes. But on the reception of the Wikipedia page for this, obviously it was like universally acclaimed and everyone loved it and stuff. But it had criticism for its special effects.
What?
And I was like, you are in 1939. You are like, you can't. This is the best it's going to be. For you bloody will. I'm enjoying it now.
Yes.
And I've seen many films.
It doesn't look... I was like, wow, they got a real twister to come in.
Thank you for coming in.
The director's a little busy at the moment.
Do you have an equity card, Mr. Twister? And then they get like a door that flies off its hinges.
That's
very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, like, when you see the house flying, it is just like a little house model on some string.
Yeah.
And they go in, like, shaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dorothy's, like, running around, like, let me... She bangs on... They lock her out of their, like, little twister shelter.
And their bunker, she's, like, banging on the door, and they're like, sorry, can't hear you, busy counting chickens.
If you hadn't interrupted us before... We would have got it done by now, but some little girl is talking about a dog.
Talking about how he's a shit pet owner. Oh. So she gets knocked out.
I never thought it was this on the nose. Like, you see her, like, pass out. You see her get knocked unconscious.
I thought it was a little bit windy. She falls asleep. You see the twister come. Zoom, zoom. She's up in the air.
I always thought that it wasn't as on the nose as it being a dream until the end.
Oh. Well, it is.
And you were there, and you were there.
I wish that twister had killed you. I will be referencing that throughout. If you haven't seen it, watch
the SNL Wizard of Oz sketch.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back to sleep now.
Where's breakfast?
We get... While she's in the eye of the storm or whatever, we get this weird twister montage.
Uh-huh.
Which I think this weird twister montage walked so that that boat scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory could shit us all up.
Yeah.
Because that is horrible stuff.
Absolutely.
Why is there a turkey? There's a turkey there. I don't understand why.
But then Ms. Margaret Hamilton turns up. Wait, have we explained that the people who are in the sepia turn up again as other characters? Like, so Miss Gulch is the witch.
The witch.
Yeah.
And then the farmhands
are Scarecrow, Tin Man,
the friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she has like a transformation because she's riding a little bike, being very camp, doing a little laugh, and then suddenly broomstick. Oh, it's amazing.
Love it. Love to see it. And then and the house like drops and the music stops and Judy Garland goes, oh. And I. And then
this bit, right? I had such a sepia flashback because when I was little and going to like very religious like school where we had to have like a religious assembly every day and sit in a church for a few hours, the priest thought he was being so fucking cool, so relevant, so up to the minute, so hip and happening when he described finding Jesus as the bit where it goes from sepia to colour in Wizard of Oz. It's like when you find Jesus.
Well, to be fair to him, the segue from Chromatica 2 into 911 hadn't been written yet.
It's fair.
So he didn't have anything else to compare it to.
Yeah, that's a fair one.
But, like, when the door opens and it's all... Bloody hell. Mm-hmm. It's still, to this day, it's still great.
The set designers were like, right, it's our time. They really pulled it out of the bag.
And the costume designers as well. Yeah. Because what the Munchkins wear, camp.
Yeah. How much did this cost? This was so, it's such an expensive looking film.
And, like, some of the sets are massive.
Uh-huh. It's all stunning.
Stunning. And Glinda comes in a camp bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Glinda.
I wasn't a fan of Glinda.
We can't all come and go by bubble.
Was not a fan.
And she's like, are you a good witch or a bad witch?
She says shit like, well, I'm a little muddled. And I'm like, fuck off. She also says, only bad witches are ugly. And I'm like, that is so rude. So rude. And I want to know what the witch has been doing that is so bad. Because, like, the Munchkins have infrastructure. They have cute costumes. They're just living their lives, and they're like, evil witch! And I'm like, what's she been doing? Explain what she's been doing.
Oppressed people don't wear nice clothes. Famously.
But what this emphasises to me is that Dorothy has fantasised about a murder. In her wildest dreams, she was like, I'd like to be a murderer.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
And then she does a little rap about it. The witch began to pitch, took a slitch, landed on the wicked witch in the middle of the ditch. What happened was no miracle. What happened then was this.
I thought you were referring
thumbing
to...
for a hitch.
She just dropped in from Kansas.
Big eyes, big thighs, big eyes.
Yeah.
It can't be taught.
Can't be taught. Can't be paid either, apparently.
Todrick Hall doesn't pay his dancers, but he did have a nice album about the Wizard of Oz. It's very timely. It's a good. Yeah, I'd recommend listening to it.
Yeah, I've never really listened to it. I've just listened to the which will come back later. Mm-hmm.
Oh. And then we have a weird Munchkinland sequence, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Upset, traumatised, about to write a letter.
I mean, they have some lovely Shetland ponies, which I do love. A Shetland pony.
Love a Shetland pony.
Have I told you about my Shetland pony trauma?
No.
Okay, so it's really fucking sad. This is me in the countryside. I went to like a summer camp thing.
Horse camp.
At like a horse camp. I was horse girl summer.
Yeah.
At the local riding stables or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was the smallest one there, they were like, you can have this little Shetland pony to look after for these 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, great time, cool. It's called Maverick. It's really cute.
Aww.
Looked after it on the Monday, went home, came back on the Tuesday. Maverick was not there. And they were like, right, Maverick's gone to a different riding stables. And you're going to have to just like float around and help everyone else. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was not till later that I learned that Maverick had been kicked in the head that Monday night by a bigger horse and had to be shot.
Oh.
So every time I see a Shetland pony, I'm like, this is cute. And they evolved because it's too windy on the Shetland Islands. But at the same time, I'm like, that horse got shot.
Mine aunt got kicked in the face by a horse, but we didn't shoot her.
That's good. That's very good. I fell off a horse and it trod on me, like, on my heart.
Oh.
Which is why I've never felt love in my life.
You're the Tin Man, literally.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Because he's queer.
Yeah, a very similar story to your Shetland pony boy, because I my mum for my birthday when I was like 8 or something got me like adopt a tiger. You can adopt an animal in another country. And mine was called Malu, and I loved her very much, and we got sent monthly updates on Malu and how she was doing.
I know how this ends.
And then one day, I opened my little update, and Malu was not called Malu anymore. She had a different name, and I was like, wow, how modern. She changed her name.
Deedpole.
Yeah.
Deedpole is what my mum calls the Deadpool films.
That's
She's
such a
seen
mum
them,
thing.
and she likes them. She's like, oh, that Deedpole.
That's iconic. I love that.
Oh, and then we had the bit where the Munchkins come up to her and they're like, thanks a lot. They're like, we thank you very sweetly for doing it so neatly. You killed her so completely that we thank you for so... Wow. And I had a horrible flashback to... Do you remember the BBC show Over the Rainbow, where they try to find Dorothy?
Yeah.
And every time that someone got eliminated, the other contestants would stand there and go, we thank you very sweetly for doing it so neatly. And they turned and looked at Andrew Lloyd Webber dead in his eye bags and were like, you ditched her so completely. But we thank you very sweetly.
God.
Ugh.
Andrew Lloyd Webber wanking the entire time.
Oh, God.
Gross little frog man.
She's like, handfuls of money, like...
I'm going to vote to stop benefits.
I love money. And although that stage production did give us the iconic song for The Wicked Witch of the West, Red Shoes Blues.
Oh, what's that?
It's like, she's so misguided. It's so good.
She's so lucky.
She's got shoes.
This is very anti-feminist. It's just a woman obsessed with getting some shoes.
I mean, she's allowed to be obsessed with shoes if she wants to be.
Absolutely.
And then we have the most bizarre display of queerness and campery. With this whole... We get, like, the mayor of Munchkin City. As the mayor of the Munchkin City. He's got some shoulder pads. We love him.
80s, love it.
we get the coroner. He's also pretty queer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mayor goes, I declare today a day of independence for all the Munchkins and their descendants. And then another Munchkin goes, if any. I'm like, yes, childish Munchkins. You're queer. You're so queer. And then, and then we get, I mean, I'm sure they're well-intentioned and they mean it well.
The little dance.
Yeah, so we got the Lullaby League, who are like...
adorable little ballet dancers.
Thank you, here's lovely time.
Costumes are amazing.
And then we get the Lollipop Guild. And I'm like, no thank you. Yeah. No thank you, Lollipop Guild.
Disgusting. I
don't know why it's the Lollipop Guild that I don't like. It's like the little jerky movements and I think the choreography doesn't do them any favours.
No.
And
although the choreography for the rest of it, like when they're like skipping around and they're like Dorothy and the Scarecrow do their little marching choreography, it's cute.
Yeah, but it's also that they've got like weird like plasticky looking wigs.
Yeah.
And like prosthetics and stuff.
It's very Oompa Loompas. Very upsetting.
I don't think it still does, but I'm glad that Hollywood stopped like fetishizing people with dwarfism.
I mean, RuPaul solved heightism, so that's fine. I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
I've just realised that's why they had the cast of
Little
Women.
That's why.
Oh, God.
They weren't just doing a nice thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right? It's bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're singing along, la 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 la.
Margaret appears, and she
cuts
doing
off
the
their
most.
Final note.
Oh, she was like,
I will not let you finish.
She was like, right, bitches, I'm going to show you how to do physicality. And she's like crouching around, and she's like, aha, love it. Oh.
She got, I googled this, she got burnt as she was doing this. Like, she had to take 6 weeks off, because, like, they had some kind of, like, weird trapdoor and smoke and fire, and they didn't do the trapdoor at the right time. And she got, like, 2nd and 3rd degree burns.
Christ. Did she win anything? Like, if Judy Garland got a fucking junior Oscar for this... Which, by the way, who was she up against?
For a juvenile Oscar?
Yeah.
I think they just gave it a...
Fucking Kid from Christmas Carol. Like, what...
I think this was the year that is like known as the best ever year for films.
Oh, really?
So it was the same year that Gone with the Wind came out, which I know is like
I've
problematic.
never seen that. I just know the costumes are good. Is that right?
She's got beautiful gowns.
Mm-hmm. Scarlett O'Hara?
Yes.
Is that a queer icon film? Because it's referenced so often in Drag Race? Or is it just like an old Hollywood film?
I think it's like quintessential old Hollywoodness.
I see, okay.
But like, it's very racist.
Oh, right, fuck.
Well, it's set around the Civil War.
Oh, I didn't. I just thought it was a nice film about clothes. And a drafty day. But no.
No, we couldn't have one nice thing.
So Margaret didn't win anything?
I don't think so.
That's so upsetting.
And she's like, Dorothy, you're a thieving bitch. Give me my sister's shoes.
And she's not wrong.
She's not. Well, we see the horrible bit of the sister's feet, like, rolling up. Like a little fruit winder of legs. Yeah, and she's like, sorry, can't give them to you now. The witch, Glinda's like, you're going to have to kill her if you want them, really. Yeah. Let's be honest.
And Dorothy's like, wait, what? Thing. I mean, you said to me that Wicked isn't canon, but Glinda knows the Wicked Witch of the East and West. Like,
yeah, I think they probably have crossed paths.
The shoes don't do anything. They're just shoes, right? They help Nessa walk.
In Wicked, yeah.
But they're not like evil. She's like, well, they might be really powerful shoes, but they might not. They might just be some shoes. Her sister's died. Give a little.
To be fair,
for once in your life,
sparkly. I'd be like, yes, camp and sparkly. I'm gonna make this the basis of all of my motivations.
Yeah.
I see what Margaret's doing here.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. And then, about 30 million people tell her to follow the fucking yellow brick. She knows.
Before that, though, Glinda's like, did you bring your broomstick? And she's like, no. And she's like, then you'll have to walk. And I'm like, bitch, you've got a bubble.
Bring her with you.
You can take her in your bubble. This is just Lord of the Rings and the Eagles all over again.
I hate it so much. And then all of these people are like, oh, the yellow brick road.
Oh,
Follow the yellow brick road. I'm like, she's been told. I know she's a bit of a liability, but like,
it's
we don't need
yellow.
a whole damn song. It's there.
Yeah.
What happens if you go down the red road? There's like a little spiral in it.
Ooh. You
Where
get
did that
to
lead?
you get to the centre. It's a spiral.
You know what I mean.
Sorry.
I will concede that the skipping, the little like walkography here is
Camp.
very joyous.
Yes.
I'm enjoying it.
It's a lovely time.
And then she meets the Scarecrow.
And I was so pleased about this because he's like, you can go down that way, or it's pleasant down that way too. Of course, some people do go both ways, and I'm like, bike on the Scarecrow. So much time.
It's a shame that that was the peak of the scene, and it was the first few lines. Because this scene goes on.
Yeah, the
and
Scarecrow.
on, and he's like,
that actor is doing the most. Like every 5 seconds, if he's in a scene, he's falling over.
He's like, I will get an Oscar for this. Oh no.
Oh no.
Clark Gable.
I just fell over a lot.
And he sings If I Only Had a Brain, which is a nice song.
Good song.
I don't need to hear it 3 times,
No.
but I will. And then they're off to see the wizard. And
they go through
I don't want to draw
orchard.
parallels.
Oh?
I'm going to say it. I'm going to break the seal.
What?
It's no ease on down the road.
Oh, it's not.
And we will get to that.
Mm-hmm, we
will certainly get to that.
Yes. So they go through an orchard, and
yes,
the witch is hiding with like like asterisks around it, or whatever, like quotation marks. Yeah. Because she's hiding behind a tree, and Dorothy's like, "Oh look, apples! What?"
But she's got a huge, wide-brimmed, pointy hat, and she is behind the thinnest tree in the fucking forest because it doesn't have a person inside. Mm-hmm. How did you not see her, Dorothy? To be fair, you'd be more interested on the trees with people inside.
Yes, because she tries
these
to pick
bitchy
an apple
trees.
Yeah,
that's my gender, if ever there was one.
Anti-capitalist trees, though, because they're like, "Don't take from me," and I'm like, "Yes." That's Marxism, right?
And she's scrambling across the floor to get these apples, and she like walks into a metal leg.
Yes.
And here he fucking is, this nightmare man.
I think he's my second favourite. I think it goes Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion.
Okay.
I do like how camp...
Dorothy certainly got her opinions. She's got her opinions sorted out from the off. We'll get to that, bloody hell.
Yeah. But I think the Tin Man is like the campest with his face. With his eyes are doing a lot.
Oh, he's got very pursed lips, hasn't he?
Yeah, pouting the whole
I thought
time.
he looked quite a lot like Ethel Merman.
Yeah.
That made him camp in my eyes.
Yeah.
Also, his son married Liza Minnelli.
Oh. That's weird and incestuous. I hate that.
Yeah. I think he was one of the straight people that Liza Minnelli married. Did you know that, like, Judy Garland, her mum was married to a closeted gay?
One?
I don't know. Mr. Garland. No, that wasn't her real name. Oh, I don't know. And then Judy Garland married Vincent Minnelli, who was also gay. And then Liza Minnelli married, like, 3 gays. Peter Allen, from The Boy from Oz musical. David Guest.
Isn't he bi? Or is he gay?
Well, he's dead. I mean, to be fair, the greatest gift that David Guest gave us was in Celebrity Big Brother when Angie Bowie heard that David Bowie had died and told Tiffany Pollard that David was dead, and Tiffany Pollard thought she meant David Guest and was like, how would she say something? Why? How dare she?
Was that also the Big Brother with Gemma Collins on it, though?
I think it might have been. Yes.
Gemma thinks she's seen a ghost. Gemma is in the garden playing with a lemon in a sock. Sorry, I've learnt all of them.
I'm fucking gamed out.
Get that fire exit door, I'm out.
Anyway, the Tin Man is there like, and they're like, oh, he needs his oil can. And I'm like, how did you get that from that sound?
Don't know, but they all him up.
And then he sings a bloody reprise, and it's If I Only Had a Heart.
Yeah, and then Dorothy's all like, you're the best friends anyone could ever have. And I'm like, you've known them for 10 minutes.
And then, who's on this very conveniently placed house? It's the fucking Wicked Witch of the West. And she's like, I'm going to set you on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And the Scarecrow's like, fuck, I'm made of straw. And then the Tin Man just sits on it and puts it out.
Rugby tackles him.
Oh, doesn't she say to the dog, I'm going to use you for a beehive?
Oh, yeah.
That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. I thought they were made of, like, wood.
I thought bees made them themselves.
Oh, sure. But I think she's proposing to construct one. Fuck off, Caleb.
I didn't know she was a keen, like, apiarist.
Well, look, Margaret...
Oh, no, she does. She does, in the book. I remembered in the book, she does have, bees. She has evil bees.
Okay, Margaret contains multitudes. Leave her alone.
Anyway, oh, did you see, in the background, because I know we were both looking in the background.
We were both looking,
in this scene,
at this point...
for a dead munchkin.
Yeah, a dead munchkin.
I mean... Listeners, you would be doing the same. You know it. Don't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
But I was looking in the background and I saw this fucking huge, like, emu / cassowary / peacock.
What was
heron.
it doing?
There's just a random bird that's fucking about in the background.
Oh, okay.
I want what she has.
But is that munchkin thing? Because it isn't in the thing we saw. But if you go on YouTube, you can find a clip where the munchkin is in it. So have they redone the clip for Netflix? Was it originally there? What's going on? What's the truth?
There's lots of conspiracy theories, which I'm sure we'll have a look through. We'll update you, listeners.
Yeah.
We go to a creepy forest.
Yes.
And I think there might be some things in this forest.
Oh yeah, what are they? Say it.
Well. There's lions.
Oh yeah. What else?
And tigers.
Oh yeah. And what's the last one?
And bears.
Oh my.
I thought you'd have that reaction. But we don't meet any tigers or bears. We just meet the cowardly lion.
And this, I'm going to say, his entrance. This physicality was not for me. He's crawling on all fours, and then he's bouncing around like he's on a pogo stick. I hated it. No thanks.
What else are you meant to do if you're a lion?
That's Tigger behaviour.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. There's a little, like, fight thing, and, like, they're all... He's going to kill him.
Put him up.
Put him up. And then it says something bad to the Scarecrow, and then the Tin Man is just, like, sitting there, like... You're going to get up and teach him a lesson? It's like, yes, stay out of the conflict, you queer being.
Do nothing, 20% at all times.
And then he's like, I'm going to eat your dog. And Dorothy's like, I think the fuck not. And slaps him in the face. And
Beautiful.
He cries.
Yeah.
And I see this lovely, he's got a lovely wig. It's very luscious.
Yes. Fabulous.
I was a big fan of that wig. I was like, I might have to commission one of those for myself. And then we get the third version of If I Only Had the Noive.
The Noive.
And it do take Noive.
He also says...
it's a very queer move to rhyme mowis with prowess.
That do take nerve. He also says, look at the circles under my eyes. I haven't slept in weeks. And I'm like, why is this lion me? Oh, and also someone says, you were born to be a sissy. And I'm like, this film. Oh my God. It's giving us everything we need.
I think the lion is the most queer-coded.
Yes.
That's why he's my favourite, personally.
And I had a realisation, as they're, like, skipping along, that this film is just an overconfident straight liability and 3 anxious performing queers. And I was like, this is an allegory for drama school. wonderful time.
And then the witch is like, oh, well, they're nearly at the Emerald City. Gonna have to reach very deep into my bag of tricks.
She's scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Some poppies? Yeah.
Explain this to me. Right, so they're in a poppy field. She's poisoned the poppies. They go to sleep. Then Galinda turns up and's like, I know what'll fix this right up. Snow. And I was like, show you're working.
Is it like they're cold, so they'll wake up? Or it'll cover
Is
the
it like
poison?
throwing water on someone who's asleep?
What? Throwing some water over someone who's allergic to water.
Maybe.
We'll get there.
Hate crime.
They do hate crime, this elderly lesbian.
Yeah. Like Miss Trunchbull, I swear to God.
Oh my God.
These elderly lesbians are having a tough old time.
I bet there's fan fiction.
With who?
Trunchbull.
Trunchbull! Please, I would love that. I'll write that. Fuck it.
So they're falling asleep in the poppies, and there's a weird shot of Toto, and I'm like, this dog is dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the lion falls asleep, and Dorothy falls asleep.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the Tin Man and the Scarecrow combined cannot lift Dorothy up.
Yeah.
But then the snow comes and saves them.
Yeah.
The Deus Ex snow.
And for some reason it helps, and they wake up.
Yeah. And I bet the witch must be kicking herself, because like the end of the poppy field is literally 10 centimetres away from the Emerald City.
Honestly, just put a fence around the field. That would have been quicker.
Just stab them.
Yeah,
Just
in the face. Just decapitate them. Do anything you can.
Set the poppy field alight.
Yes. Do you want these shoes or not? Then act like it. When I want shoes, I'm committing crimes.
And then we have these horrible voices that are like, "You're out of the woods, you're out of the dark, you're out of the night."
Yeah, that should have been a fun song, but
it's not. It's absolutely not. And they get to the Emerald City.
Yeah, after 2 seconds.
Into the woods.
Into the woods.
Out of the woods.
That fucking kid in Into the Woods. Into the woods. Shut up. So trilly. Fucking hate it. Anyway, sorry.
And then they knock on. They ring the bell.
Yeah.
Of the Emerald City.
This was a fucking bit.
Professor Marvel, not to be confused with Captain Marvel, in guise as Doorman, pokes his head out and is like,
is he playing...
who rang that bell?
Is he playing all of the... See, I thought this...
He plays about 6 parts of this.
I thought this was the uncle who they got to play this one. But no, they just got Professor Marvel to play all of the men in the Emerald City.
Poor Uncle Henry.
Was Uncle Henry just sitting in the corner twiddling his thumbs like, I could step in. I know the lines. I learnt the lines. I have nothing else to do.
In like stage productions and stuff, they have Glinda is also on M.
Oh.
And that's
sense.
A speedy costume change.
Yeah, true actually. Although I think if you've got a big dress, you can just shove it on anything, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my philosophy. I'm wearing a big dress today.
If you've got a big dress, you can shove it on anything.
Do you remember a few weeks ago I referenced my big orange dress?
I do.
Well, we're on a video call today, and this is my big orange dress.
Only half of it's orange, Caitlin.
My fucking hip just cracked.
Well, I don't want to say you deserved it, but...
It's a great orange dress.
Anyway, Professor Marvel's like, who rang that bell? And they're like, we did. And he's like, can't you read the sign? And they're like, there's no sign. And he's like, oh, I'll put the sign there. And then the sign says, bell out of order, please knock. And it's like, you card. They just rang the bell.
I had no patience for that.
Yeah, it's too many bits. And they knock. And he says,
welcome to welcome to Emerald City. I prefer the Wicked version of this. One short day.
A day in the Emerald City.
Because they're serving Lukes. There were very few Lukes in this
You know where they
version.
do serve Lukes as well in Emerald City?
They're ponies.
It's the Wiz they serve so many looks. I can't wait to talk about it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they get on like this horse that's also being driven by Professor Marvel.
Yeah.
And there's a pony that has been like dip-dyed. And that pony's getting shot in the head this evening.
Poor pony.
No one's looking after that pony tomorrow.
Absolutely not. He changes colour every 5 minutes. Oh,
Horrible.
probably a different horse.
Oh, so there's several horses that they've
Yeah.
shot because they've dyed them.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they
There's a
have
makeover
a makeover
scene.
montage.
Yes.
Oh, love it.
Oh, and this bit, I got so excited, and I feel like you did too, because there's these like little trestle table things they're making them over on, and they had to make them thick enough that the scarecrow can put his legs under, so his fake legs can be shoved with straw. You're looking at me like you don't get.
Movie making magic. I preferred the bit where they welded the Tin Man.
Yeah, that was good. And the fucking horror show
the
of
lion
Dorothy.
Oh god. Oh, Dorothy's like, can I dye my eyes? No, Dorothy.
Imagine, like, so Scarecrow, what do you want? Oh, just, the straw makeover. Oh, Tin Man, what do you want? Oh, just, like, polish me. Dorothy, dye my eyes. What the fuck?
My favourite thing is the lion. He's like, I got a perm.
Fabulous.
And a bow. Literally, Dorothy's only makeover is a bow.
Yeah. And then they head outside, because knock,
Oh.
who's there? Our favourite queer icon.
It's Margaret.
Yeah.
Well, again, Margaret, they had a stunt double on this broom that was, like, billowing out smoke.
Oh, yeah.
The broom exploded
Wait, what?
and scarred this stunt double's legs forever.
Wow. Did the stunt double sue?
Probably not. Probably weren't able to.
Yeah, maybe it's a new contract. I don't know. Yeah, she's a speedy one,
Weird.
though.
She's skywriting. She writes S-U-R, and then they look away, and they're like, oh, what's this? And they look back, and it's like, surrender, Dorothy! I'm like, wow.
I thought she was writing, surprise! And then the lion sings a fucking filler song, because they were worried that an hour and 40 wasn't long enough.
I'd convinced myself that this film was 3 hours long, and I think it was mainly because of this song.
Yeah, 100%. And then he spends 5 minutes naming things that have fuck all to do with courage. I think it was a joke, but again, like the door bit, it went on too long.
I think the actor playing the lion certainly has a better agent than the two of these other friends, because, like, why does he get a bonus song?
He's the one who could sing opera, / had been in a Gilbert and Sullivan once.
The only good thing to come out of this is that he gets a camp cape and a little crown.
And a camp little carpet. It's a green carpet. Because Emerald City, very good. Very good.
And then the guard's like, sorry, you can't see the wizard.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm so sad. Annie M, I'm so sad. And then the guard's like, oh, I had an Auntie M. Come the fuck in.
And the wizard is like, fuck off. And they're like, what?
It's like a big head that roasts them all.
Yeah. And then he's like, bring back my broom. And he just wants them to bring back the broomstick of the witch.
And then he'll grant all their wishes and everything will be great.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason, the lion runs down a corridor and jumps out of a window.
Oh, you know when you become really over-aware that, like, an adult human had to do something in a film? Like, I was just... I was like, wow, an adult man ran down a corridor in a lion costume and jumped through a window. That's something he
I think that's the price that he had to pay.
Oh, I see.
For having the extra bonus song.
Yeah.
They were like, right, you can sing the song, but you've got to jump through a window.
He runs like I ran in sports day, all arms. Not much leg going
on. And then we're in a creepy forest. And this is that I remember this bit. There's a cut song that was in this bit called The Jitterbug, which is like a really fun camp group number.
That sounds fun.
Who was that hiding? I'm like, you cut this, but you kept in King of the fucking Forest.
So upsetting.
That was about 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
Okay, it's your film. Do what you want. And also, I looked away from this scene briefly, and then I looked back, and the Scarecrow had a gun.
I didn't see
He's just holding a gun.
Oh my god.
Bizarre.
Very.
I was like, oh, okay, this film is nice and kid-friendly. Oh!
We get introduced to the monkeys, who are camp.
They are camp, yes.
Love their little jackets.
They've got camp jackets.
Yeah.
They're not as attractive as the ones in Wicked.
No, the ones in Wicked scamper a bit more.
And I'd fuck them.
We
Any
all
of them.
would. They're monsters.
They've got abs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck these monkeys.
No.
But I'm sure someone would.
And good for you if you would.
Yeah. And then they capture Dorothy and they take her and Toto into the castle.
Yeah.
And the witch can't get her shoes off. So she's like, gonna have to fucking kill you.
Yeah. And then
but not right now.
Oh yeah, explain this bit. Riddle me fucking this. The witch sets a timer and it's just like, that's how long you've got. Bye-bye. And I'm like, what are you... What? Are you a bit busy, love? What? You gotta finish your knitting.
Got tend to a sourdough start.
Yeah.
Doing yoga with Adrian.
Yeah.
And escape Queen Toto escapes.
Yeah.
Jumps over a fucking drawbridge.
Iconic.
This dog was paid more money than I will ever see.
Can you jump over a drawbridge though?
No.
Well then.
And this dog deserves it. This. And then Dorothy's in the tower like with her egg timer. Being like, oh, I'm so sad. And then Auntie Em appears in the crystal ball. It's like, Dorothy, 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 Dorothy. And she's like, yes, Auntie Em, I'm here. And then the witch like morphs into Auntie Em. It's like, boo fucking who?
That's what she was doing.
My name's Dorothy.
She was busy doing some gay trickery.
You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? I think you're right.
I think I am.
And Toto goes to get the others.
Yeah.
And they see all the guards doing the oh. Have you seen Wreck-It Ralph?
No.
Oh my god. There's like a Candyland. And the people that guard the king of Candyland's tower are Oreos. And they're going around going, Oreo.
Oh, for
Oreo.
fuck's sake. I hate that.
I saw it and I was like, yes!
I would have been there like, boo!
I was like, someone who worked on this film is gay.
Yes.
And then they fight the Winkies, and they steal their camp little skirts.
Yeah. Leave them out to dry.
But they don't swap. Only the Scarecrow's wearing clothes, and he's got them on later on.
Yeah.
So did they just leave like 3 naked Winkies?
Oi, oi, as it were.
Get your Winkies out. And then they hack the door open. Yeah. With the Tin Man's axe. Mm-hmm. And they rescue her. And she's like, oh, I knew you'd come back. Oh. And they try to escape. But Margaret, she's having none of it.
Yeah, she's like, no. Give me my shoes.
I want those shoes to establish just who's number one from the east to the west.
What?
Red Shoes Blues from the musical version. The only good thing that Andrew Lloyd Webber's ever done. And then they just run around this castle.
Yeah,
which is
an excellent
castle. Huge set. Again, the fucking... Mm-hmm. I think I googled it and the budget was 3 million. And I was like, is that in today money? Because that is cheap.
75 billion today money.
And then she sets the Scarecrow... She gets a broom and like lights it in a torch. I'm like, that's a waste of a good broom. Maybe she's got several. Yeah. In which case, none of this is necessary. They could just say, can we have one of your spares? And then like lights the Scarecrow on fire. And I don't want to victim blame anyone here, but if you're allergic to water, don't fill your house with buckets of water.
But does she know she's allergic, or is it like that time I ate a crab salad? Because that was a bloodbath.
I mean, in Wicked she knows, but again, Wicked is not really that canon, is it?
How does she know? Does she not bath? Bath? Bathe?
Can she...
Shower?
She's just like the H2O mermaids. She's in the same predicament.
No, Toto!
No, Margaret, no.
The Wardor!
The Wardor!
The Scarecrow is on fire! No!
No, don't touch it, Margaret.
Get the Wardor!
Elphaba, no.
Actually, you know how through the whole of Wicked they're like, we're supposed to be like, poor Elphaba, people don't like her because she looks a bit different. Maybe she smells really bad.
Now that's
I'm just
a concept.
Yeah, I don't want to excuse racism. But maybe she smells bad. If she's not bathing, when did she find out?
I
don't remember that.
I think when she's born, she has like an aversion to water.
Oh.
Like she's like shrinking away from it. And then there's a bit in the musical where it starts raining and Madame Morrible's like, have this umbrella.
Oh. Okay.
Madame Morrible's camp. She's a queer icon.
Oh, love her. She's fabulous.
Love her so much.
So yeah, they throw.
Oh yeah,
the
and
water
she
on.
melts.
And she melts. Right, they were clearly like, look, Margaret, you give it everything you've got, love. You give it 110%. You give it everything. And she was like, okay, I'll do it. I'm dying. And they were like, everyone else is going to react, right? Wink, wink. And they just stand staring at her, giving her 0. And she's like, ugh! And they're like, oh, look at that. Like, it's, what the fuck? Act, Judy. Acting is reacting.
Yeah, she's not like Star is Born level yet.
No.
Bless her heart. And then they're like, back at the wizard, they're like, we've got the broom, now fucking pay up, please.
He's like, no.
And then he's like, come back tomorrow. And then Toto's like, I'm having none of this. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And pulls the curtain.
Scamper. Tug, tug, tug.
And he's like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Which I've heard somewhere, is that a thing people say now?
I think it's just like for like sham leaders or whatever. Appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you're a humbug. And I'm like, I don't know. Again, like, I should have Googled this after Muppet Christmas Carol. What's a humbug?
Yeah.
Other than a stripy mint?
Is there a humbug? Does it hum? Is it stripy?
Well, there's a
Send
jitterbug.
questions.
Who's that hiding?
Does it jitter? Is that a bug? It's a dance? Oh my god.
No.
It's also a plane? Oh my god.
There's so many
Need
questions.
to have a lie down.
And then they're like, right, so we've got the broom, what's going to happen now? And he's like,
They blackmail a man. They've murdered 2 people and then they blackmail someone. I just...
To be fair, he was a con man.
Yeah.
The man...
That is fair.
They shouldn't have killed the women. Kill the man.
So what we're saying is blackmail fine, murder not?
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
And then he's like, I'm going to give you some bits of worthless, shiny plastic as a recompense. Yeah. And everyone else is like, woo, what a fucking great time. But Dorothy's a bit
Yeah. The Scarecrow, he gives the Scarecrow a diploma because he's like, you don't actually need to be smart, you just need a thing that says you're smart. And I'm like, the wizard really said Western concepts of intelligence are performative and wrong. I was like, yes! Gives the lion a medal, which says courage on it. Being like, you don't actually need to be courageous, you just need a medal for it.
Yeah, and then the Tin Man is like, I don't know what to give you. Have a watch. Have a watch in the shape of a heart. And the Tin Man's
he's like, cool! Like, very easily. Yeah.
And Dorothy's like, you ain't got anything in that bag for me. And he's like,
yeah, because
right.
she wants something he can't, like, fucking foist on her that is complete bollocks.
Yeah. And he's like, well, as luck would have it, I'm a balloonist. And I'm like, we're near the end of the film, I'm going to go with it.
I'm like, I beg to differ. You are not a balloonist based on what happens now. Fucking floats away by mistake.
There's a whole celebration, and they're all ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen them say goodbye yet, in such a sad way that happens afterwards. So someone subconsciously knew that she wasn't going to make it on the balloon.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. She'd have to say goodbye twice. And then she's ready to go.
Little thing.
And then Toto's like, lol, Toto, the villain of the piece. I will posit Toto is the villain of the piece. He jumps out and runs away. Dorothy gets out, and the wizard flies away.
But I reckon he's not the villain of the piece, because he knows that this this con artist isn't really going to get her anywhere, because the way to get home, as Galinda suddenly remembers,
she's like, oh, did I not tell you at the start?
Oops.
Well, no, you had to work it out for yourself.
You killed a woman. Oh my god. That's quite an adventure, Dorothy.
I went to university with her. I sang a nice song with her.
Sure, we all bullied her, but you know.
We didn't want her to die.
Yeah, we chased her into hiding. Yes, we sent people to her door with fire. We didn't want her to die.
And then you almost got in a balloon with maybe her dad?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Hang on. Does he... This has only just struck me. Does he ask for the murder of his daughter? Is that what happens?
If we're going with this wicked
If we're combining
mythos.
wicked and... Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Bad dad alert.
But no, actually, he doesn't... He says... he's like, bring me the broom. And they're like, oh, so we're going to have to kill her. And he's like, what? No. I just want the broom. Like, why did your mind go to that first, please?
I just need to do some sweeping. Wow,
Go to Pound
Dorothy.
Lab, get me any broom, I don't care. She's like, murder, yes, murder. I've got a taste for it now. I've dropped my house on her.
I'm hearing kill her. Is that what you said? Kill her. And not just, like, in her sleep. We should, like, burn her to death. That's what you're saying.
We're not going to hold a pillow over her face.
No.
We're going to melt her.
Melt her.
Melt the bitch.
Melt the bitch. Why is no one else chanting? Melt the bitch.
That's why the lion runs away. He doesn't want a part of it.
Oh my god.
No, join our murder club. Come back out of that window.
Oh my god.
So bad.
So yes, Galinda tells her how she's going to get home, which is tap tap.
And say, there's no place like home.
Yes. Which are fairly simple instructions.
But she's going round everyone. She's like, Lion, I'm going to miss you in your perm. Tin Man, don't cry, Tin Man, because actually your silver makeup is running off with your tears.
Yeah.
And it fucking was.
And then Scarecrow, I think I'll miss you most of all. And I'm like, the others are right there.
They're like, fuck our drag, right?
Yeah.
You only knew him for like, what, 3 minutes more than the Tin Man?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no, like, proper, like...
Yeah, they don't, like,
rapport
between...
between...
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I don't want to go back to it, but in The Wiz,
Uh-huh.
Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, they were banging.
What?
So, they were banging.
Hang on. The characters or the
The
or
actors.
the actors? Were they? I
I'm
didn't
fairly
even know
sure.
that. Oh,
So there's like a little added layer. Like, yeah, of
Ooh.
course he's her favourite.
okay.
Also, he's like 20 in this, and the other two are about 60.
Yeah, and they sing that really good song as they ease on down
Ease
down
on
the road.
that bloody road. They do. We'll go into more detail on this much later on, listeners. And then, I love the bit where she's like, say goodbye, Toto, and she makes the dog do a little wave.
Aww.
And the dog's like, I masterminded this whole thing. And I'm trans. Yeah, so. And then she picks the heels.
Sorry.
And she wakes up in her fucking bed.
Uh,
And you were there, and you were there, and you were there.
Was I there? Oh, Doctor.
I don't remember if you...
You were a mayor. Mayor of New York? No.
You did a little funny dance. Is that what we are to you?
So yeah, let's stop chopping about the dream stuff. When's breakfast ready? So good. Kate McKinnon, Queen.
And then she's like, NEM, there's no place like home. And I'm like, clearly she's never been to a wacky warehouse.
Clearly. Quite clearly. Oh, so yes.
And that's it. That's the end.
That's the film. Is it queer?
Is The Wizard of Oz queer?
It's queer as heck.
Queer AF. Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, none of the actors in it are openly queer because it was the 30s.
Yeah.
And they would have been killed.
Oh, come on, though. We saw that choreo. A gay had a hand in it.
And those costumes, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Margaret.
Is camp. Margaret is bringing in mainly all of the queer and the camp.
Yes, love her. Favourite character.
I can't believe she didn't, like, win. Oh, no, because if she'd won Best Supporting Actress, if she'd even been, she would have beaten Hattie McDaniel, who was the first African-American to win an Oscar. So maybe it's for the best that Margaret didn't.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, Margaret.
Yeah.
It's mainly the green and the prosthetics doing the work for you, but like...
How dare you? So rude. I feel like
But Idina Menzel won a Tony, so like she claimed it back.
Adele Dazeem.
The wickedly talented.
Fucking what's her name? One. Oh fuck! What's her name? The one who
Kristen
plays.
Chenoweth?
No, the other Elphaba that I sent you this morning. Like what?
Which one?
Not Return to Oz. The one with the face.
Oh, Mila Kunis.
Yeah, that's it.
Mila Kunis hasn't won anything except the nation's hearts.
Oh.
I like Mila Kunis, but I'm not going to watch this film with her as a witch in it because I won't watch anything with James Franco.
Oh no, absolutely not. He's kind of got away with it. I still hear people like, "Oh, I love James Franco," and I'm like, "You do?"
He's just a bit weird to look at. Do you remember when he hosted the Oscars with Anne Hathaway?
No.
It was not a pairing that...
Why don't you like... He's the one who like spoke to underage girls on Instagram, right?
Oh, I didn't even know that. I have a bad feeling about him.
Oh,
okay.
well, your bad feeling was
list.
correct.
Well done. Trust your gut.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a gut, you motherfucker.
So is it camp? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it have been improved with June Whitfield?
Quite possibly.
Who would she have played?
Fuck it, she can play Glinda.
Yes!
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because I don't care for the Glinda as she is.
No, she's a bit vapid. I mean, she isn't.
Oh, I'm getting all muddled. Fuck off.
Oh, did I not tell you about the heel clicking thing? Oh, that's embarrassing.
Ooh, my bad. Again, killed. Literal murder. Are we right on that?
I was going to make her popular.
So yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That's the end.
That's your lot. 6 fucking dicks.
Yeah. So leave a like, leave a comment, review,
subscribe,
rate.
Tell a friend, tell June Whitfield. She can't hear you.
No.
Join us next week for Tracy Tuesday, and I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of the Land of Oz.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Deadly Desert. Right, bye. Oh, follow me.
Wait, no!
Don't go yet. Come back. NEM, come back. Follow me at KateButch1 on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us at Queers Gone By on both.
Follow me at Caitlin R. Powell on Instagram and at Caitlin PWLL on Twitter.
And we shall see you next week for even more Queers Gone By.
Gone by.
Quiz Gone By. Goodbye.
Quick go back. NEM.
Gone girl. NEM. Boo fucking who. I'm Dorothy Gale and I'm so shit.